Performing means a lot because it's a way for me to express myself instead of just sitting in a classroom at a desk, and in sports it's a way for me to expand my comfort zones.
No words can describe it. Just all the practice that you put in and all the time and effort, it pays off on stage and you get it's amazing.
You get to be a different person, like you're yourself anywhere else, and then you get to be whoever you want to be on stage.
It helps me be who I am. It shows me that no matter if I'm a character or a real person, that people are going to think that I'm funny or that I'm silly, whether I'm on stage or off stage, and it just lets you bring out your inner self and lets you get more comfortable with who you are, whether you're acting or being yourself with other people.
It's kind of like a rush that kind of just gets me really excited and makes me feel a lot better about myself. And just when I perform and then looking back at my performance, just seeing how well I did.
I wouldn't be here if my parents had never met for performing. I don't know, I mean, I lost my first tooth on the Darlington stage when I was like 6 years old, and Pop Factory Players. I don't know, like just so much of my life has been around that. I mean, I've been in shows with my parents in the winter for Pop Factory since I was like 5 or 6. And then once I got into middle school and children's theater and high school for all that stuff, I mean, it's always been a huge part of my life.
I mean, I really enjoy performing. It's something fun. Not a lot of people can do it because they're afraid to get up in front of people, including myself. I'm pretty shy sometimes, but once you get up there, I think it's really fun, and more people should do it.
So you can be involved as part of the ensemble, and just being able to be out there and dancing and singing as a group. You know, we share those experiences together, whether you are the lead or whether you have a bunch of smaller parts. And I kind of like to have and experience both of those, where you're on stage quite a bit and you have a big funny part, but it's also nice to kind of have it where you sit back and just be part of the crowd and the ensemble.
Performing is, and especially in the theater department, is probably the highest form of expression. You get to tell this amazing, beautiful, complex story with all of these other people, and it's really, the interaction between the actors and the audience is something that can't really be replaced by any other medium. It's just beautiful.
Ooh, my favorite role was in the fall musical as Alice for the Addams Family. As Alice, she kind of drinks some acrimonium and kind of goes crazy. And so I think it was really fun to try and like portray her, because it's not how I usually am. So kind of getting to step out of my comfort zone and be crazy and kind of basically act drunk was pretty fun. So.
While I really liked to play Belle, that was my senior year in Beauty and the Beast. She's a fun character, which is kind of atypical because Disney female characters are kind of stereotypical and they don't really have a lot of personality. She did. She kind of had some spunk and some spark to her, so it was really fun to play her. But I also really liked another character I just recently played in Young Frankenstein. She was fun and she got to yodel, so that was fun.
I think my favorite role was in Midsummer Night Jersey, when I was like the director of the grease crew, and it was just so much fun being in charge of everyone because that's like my kind of thing, and we had a good group of people working together, so it was a lot of fun.
Last year during the play as Kitty, because she was a wild character. She got a little tipsy, but you know, she was fun.
The Addams Family, because Morticia Addams is slaying at life. And she was just really fun to play, and I loved all of the songs and working with everybody.
Even though I wasn't a smoker, my character was a chain smoker. And it was a play where you actually had to smoke on stage. And as my husband, character in the play, I'm his wife, who's hysterical, and I think I have seen 3 dead bodies. It's a murder mystery. He is shaking me, saying if I don't come to my senses, he's going to have me institutionalized. And as he's shaking me, the lit cigarette that I had in my hand, starts burning the hairs on his arm. Now this is on opening night. So therefore, he looks at me, I look at him, and we realize we can't break character. But somehow we have to get out of this situation. So he pulls away from me, I pull away from him, I snuff out the cigarette, and then we continue on with the scene.
During Hello Dolly, there was a scene that me, Sydney Brandt, Jarrett Lancaster, Jackson Hemming, and Sierra Bergson were all running around doing this little dance.
Jarrett was in the closet and the whole thing fell over in the middle of the performance.
He was laying and stuck in between the door and the back of the wardrobe.
And we all just had to work around it. And then he tried to get out of the closet and we couldn't get him out. So he kept falling back down because his foot was stuck. And it was just a disaster. And we didn't know how to, like, not laugh about it, but we couldn't laugh on stage because there was a whole audience. But we got through it. We did. We got through it.
Yeah, the show must go on though, so we kept going, tried to make it part of the performance, but he just couldn't get unstuck, so he was laying there for a while. It was pretty funny.
Oh my god! Okay, so the very last performance for the spring play, You Can't Take It With You, Marty, it was before we went on stage, me, Marty Williams, and Jackson Hemming all were talking.
We had a little bet that he wouldn't do something on stage.
And there had been, the night before that, Marty's arm had been wrapped from something, and it got stuck on this cover for the couch. It was like a blanket, but he like recovered from it quickly. But then, when we were talking, Jackson had said, "Oh, I bet you wouldn't do it again," and like put it around your neck.
He did, and it was funny.
And so I had to go sit down in the back of the stage, and Marty was in front of me having a conversation with Jackson. And he goes and like sets his arm again on the blanket, and this time, instead of taking it off, he goes and grabs it and wraps it around his neck. And I start bawling my eyes out from laughing so much. And from there, it was like downhill from there because it was just the whole entire performance after that was just me laughing.
A guy in the audience, like, burped or something. You can call it burped. And it was completely silent, and then Lauren Weber couldn't stop laughing, and then we all started laughing on stage.
It was the last show when we all started laughing because we thought someone in the audience farted. It was just so funny.
I guess kind of Cole McDonald a little bit, like he was really involved and kind of wanted to do that.
Sadie Fitzsimons, I guess. She was just so good. Everything.
Sadie Fitzsimons really, pushed me to be in like the musical because she was so amazing, like singing wise and dancing and everything.
I absolutely fell in love with Molly Oppenau as Belle in Beauty and the Beast, and so seeing that when I was little really made me want to become a performer.
Sam Cohen was probably the biggest one. He got me to go into children's theater, and I've been in it ever since.
My siblings really did because they were always involved in everything, and I always went to go see what they were involved in, and I would go and support them. And it really inspired me. It looked like they had a lot of fun, so it made me want to be in it too.
It would either be Sam Cohen or Jared Lancaster. They're role models to me, and I inspire to be like them. They're just fun to be around.
Definitely Mrs. Havens. I miss her a lot. She's always so positive, and I don't know, she made everyone's day better, and just sometimes going to play practice isn't too fun when you've had a long day, but I don't know, she just kind of cheers you up and motivates you to work hard and have fun. And
Allison and Sierra really pushed me to be part of the forensics team and the musicals and the plays because I was always really shy and I did not want to be on stage at all. I didn't want all the people looking at me, but they convinced me that if they were by me, then everything was going to be fine, whether I remembered my lines or not. And they just really pushed me to get out of my comfort zone.
I don't know. I mean, there's different people I like to work with for different reasons. Like, there are times when I need someone to make me laugh, and whenever it's like that, it's like Sierra Bergeson, Jackson Hemming, Allison, like, they all find a way to make me laugh. And I just, even when they're not trying to, I laugh at everything they do because it's just so funny to me. But then there are people like Gabrielle Steiner who just, they're there for you when you're so stressed and you want to cry, and you know, just need that type of person that's like, you know what, you can do it. Just relax, calm down. It's nice.
Probably Michael through forensics, just because he kept us on our toes all the time.
Jackson Hemming, because he's just funny all the time, and he can be serious when you need to be, but like he's always a good time, makes everything fun.
Probably Mrs. Schlim because I've taken like piano lessons from her, and she's kind of like been with me like all my shows.
Mrs. Havens, love her. She was my musical director all 4 years of high school, and then Mrs. Hemming, she was my play director all through high school, and I think that they both have just so many talents, and their ability to, you know, connect with those students and foster that creativity, I think that they are just incredible, exceptional directors.
You just got to do it. I mean, Jacob Rickers, he is a star. He'd never done it this year on stage. Oh, he's great. Same with Tyler Mosley. You just got to do it. You'll regret it once you're a senior. They all said they wish they could have done it sooner.
To go for it. It will be the best decision of your life, and it takes everyone to make a production worthwhile. So we cannot have a show if we don't have tech crew, if we don't have stage crew, if we don't have people in the pit, if we don't have people on stage. And so there is something for everyone.
There's going to be so many people that you're going to encounter, and all of them are going to be great, and you're just going to have a family, and it'll make you want to get involved even deeper than whatever initial role you have.
If you're kind of leery about performing, maybe start in a role where you're in a sound booth, or where you're backstage, or where you just do a small role. And you'll realize that the more you do that thing, the more skilled and the more fun you can have with it.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Interviews with Jacob. My name is Jacob Rickers.
I don't know how to be a normal person.
Heart attack. Is this good?
I've been involved in the musical, the play, the forensics, and the choir.
And the band at one point.
In 8th grade. Oh, and the band.
What are you doing? I'll take your stuff so that you can have the interview.
I am not doing it right now. I'm doing it in class.
Why?
Because I said I'd do
Why
it
don't
in
you
class.
just get it done now?
Why do you always have to act like my mother?
Oh. Can I go? You know what? I'll go. Okay.
Hey, it's Sadie. When I was in high school, I was involved. Okay, start over.
Okay. Ready?
I'm ready.
You ready?
Wait, are my strings even? Do I look fat?
No. Squeak at the end.
That was so hard. Are we done?
Yeah.
We shouldn't. Did you record that part?
Yeah.
Are we done? Oh, hello. I'm Mariah Zire.
He thought that was in the script, and he said, oh no, he had that all on his own.
When did I do that?
When you were going to hit Giselle in the butt. It's like, ooh, hello.
Who inspired me? Oh my gosh.
Your sister?
Those questions are so hard.
Your brothers? Your mom?
Do we need to start over?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is deep.